Hello everyone, this is Tamara from You Are Unique, and I'm here doing my 5 Live at 1 p.m. The truth about your emotions and how to deal with them effectively. Now, it's my son's birthday, so happy birthday to Eamon, even though you're really annoying me right now. And it's funny that my whole live is about wrong versus right, and he feels that I shouldn't be doing a live on his birthday and that I should be giving him all this attention. He's just left the house now that I've started, but literally for the last 5 minutes he's been banging out the door, being totally annoying. But I guess even though I've sort of started this live a bit discombobulated, it does serve, there goes the door, bang. It does serve a bit of a purpose, I guess, and I feel like everything sort of happens for a reason and that you've just got to go with the flow. But life is always going to be stressful, and life is always going to have things happen, and you've just really got to work your way into whatever life brings for you, I guess. And actually, I'm going to share this to my page, my personal page, because no one's on yet. But wrong versus right for me is more about adults. I guess as children, they're still learning what is wrong and what's right. So my son right now hasn't quite learnt that his painful behaviour is, creating stress within me. And as much as I love him, he's, right now he's wrong. He's having tantrums, slamming the door, and doesn't want me to go live. Now, apparently Michael said that it just should come up on my feed and that live should be happening straight away, or pretty much. Oh, there we go. Just let me share this. Said that it just should come up on my feed and let's be quiet. Share, write a post, share to everyone. Oh God, hi Kiralee, I can see that you're watching. Share. So I'm basically talking about wrong versus right today, and I was just saying a little bit earlier for you guys that have just jumped on that my son has been having a tantrum and he feels that he's right, and I feel like he's wrong, and that he basically shouldn't be annoying me right now. So okay, that's posted. Great. Okay, so wrong versus right when we're having a discussion or an argument with people, and I feel like there is no wrong. There is only right. Now, why? I guess there are so many levels of truth. There goes my son riding his bike laughing at me, antagonizing me, little cheeky bugger. There is only right. And why is there only right? Because all of us are raised so differently. All of us are at different stages in our lives, like my son there, who thinks he's right at age, 10, is not. Anyway, so back on track. Let's push him aside, a little bit of chaos. Everyone is right. Why? Because we all have different parents, and from those different parents, we are brought up with different beliefs. We are brought up different beliefs because they were brought up by their parents, and so on. Also, societal influences such as people who are in church, get influenced and programmed essentially with what the church's beliefs are. And so there's that level of belief as well. Kids who are born into families with free-thinking parents have a different belief system and a different program structure within them. So not all of us, were born to the same parents at the same time with the same experiences that make us all the same. So therefore, based on our experiences, our life experiences and how old we are, we change our programs and we change our beliefs. So understanding this there is so many different elements to each human being and the way they perceive the world based on their programs, based on their belief systems, and based on, their experiences, essentially. And hey, Kira Lee, popping on and off there. There's also different beliefs that come from spiritual teaching. So whether it's religious or spiritual, everyone is so unique. Everyone is so different. And not one person is wrong because of how they're geared, how they're made up, and how their blueprint essentially is made from when they were a young child to where they are now. So there's no wrong. But we do have, obviously, layers of truth or layers of beliefs based on, obviously Eamon with his age, he believes things because he hasn't had the experience himself. There's different layers of truth also. And as we get a little bit older, say teenagers, we have that teenage fog. And then as we get older again, there's probably things like substance abuse because we haven't dealt with our traumas or our negative experiences when we were younger. So there's those overlays of maybe drinking too much alcohol or taking drugs, taking Western drugs, taking illegal drugs or whatever it is that create another layer of belief or a different layer of truth. So there's so many elements to this that make up a person that they, in their world, are right. So technically there's no wrong, because everyone is geared differently in their world. So I've got a little story actually. I made a bullying video probably, a couple of months ago, and I had a bit of an altercation with a crossing guy, and I made a video on it, and he got quite aggressive and quite upfront with me, and I'd gone across the line on the road, and he basically stared and eyeballed me, blowed his whistle, come over to my car and stood over my window. And I was like, I am not opening that window. I looked at him and he's like, wind down your window. And I'm like, no, dude, I get that I've driven over the line here and I've done the wrong thing, but I'm not opening my window. He was quite aggressive and his demeanor and his energy was kind of standoverish. He ended up standing in front of my car and just standing there demanding that I look at him. And there was after posting that video, there was a couple of responses and some women that have actually liked the response saying that their supervisor has probably dealt with people who were unlawful and putting children in danger. And I totally agree with that. I feel like, these men and these women, they, go out there and they are there to keep our children safe. And at the end of the day, he was right in his world based on his experiences, because that's what he had seen or learned or been programmed to become a supervisor. And I guess, the women who had made comments on my video had said that I should have actually just acknowledged him and had a conversation with him, or, whatever it was that they had said. But when I really started peeling back at why I didn't do that, there was actually past experiences and past traumas that had occurred with my life. So when I was about 18 years old, I was at a party, and I think all the teenagers can relate to this. There was a particular guy there who really liked me, and his ex-girlfriend didn't so much. And obviously she'd been rejected and there's this new girl on the scene. And so the rumor went around that she was going to bash me up. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is not cool. So I decided to remove myself from the party. And as I exited the party, a group started coming outside, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And I've hopped in my car with two of my girlfriends, and the window was open slightly. I think I smoked back then. I've lit up a fag, and anyway, this girl literally comes running across the road, jumps in the car, or puts her hand through the window and grabs my hair. Like, I'm 18, I'm just freshly driving, and she's ripping out my freaking hair. And I've got one girlfriend on one side in the passenger seat, and she's like trying to remove this girl and the hair, like her hands and the hair, and separate them. And I've got a girl in the back seat literally clawing at this chick's hands. And so all this was happening, and all, like, I couldn't move, I couldn't drive, I couldn't even find how to start the car and drive off. And this happened probably for about, I don't know, 5 minutes. Like, it was a good, long, sort of traumatic experience that had occurred. And in the end, I think I ended up just getting fired up. I mean, I had sisters, so I just fired up back, and I managed to get the handle of the door and kick it open, and it flung her backwards. That's how obviously pissed off I was. And then I just closed my door, started the car, and drove off. And then that was my first experience with a car problem, or an altercation in the car. And then it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, I had the same issue when I was trying to leave somewhere, and this person would not let me leave. My window was open again in the car, and the hand came in and just yanking the key out of the ignition. And I mean, it wasn't until someone actually walked past that this person stopped, and I put my window up and drove off. And, they spat all over the car. And that was like literally another traumatic experience for me. And so when I look at why, this is going back to the story of the crossing supervisor, really, that he was not wrong, because his experience, based on his beliefs or what he was taught or what he had experienced, were relevant. They were right. But for me, being an adult, being 40 and gone through those past experiences, I've clearly learnt that, hey man, I'm not opening up my window to anyone. I'm not going through that trauma again. And I guess that's why I totally shifted my energy from it. I didn't engage, because in the last experiences, I really did engage in it, and that just created more drama. So, I guess even talking about it now, I feel like I'm firing up over it. So, yeah, so I wasn't wrong to not respond to this crossing guy, based on my traumatic experiences, based on my belief systems that have been created because of the past trauma and the past experiences. Just as he, the crossing man, was not wrong because of his probably past experiences. So a little story there to help you understand how probably no one's wrong because of the experiences and the traumas and the beliefs and the upbringing they've gone through. Everyone is right. And I feel like if we all really understood that this actual teaching, we wouldn't get so involved in the drama or the energy, I'd like to say the energy exchange of whatever comes up in our lives. Obviously, if there's something that does come up, we have to state what we need and what we want. And if that person can't fulfill that, then we have to accept that and move on. But in terms of being wrong, there's no wrong. There's just all different, unique people. So, hi guys. Hi Christina. Hi Nels and Roxy. Foxy Roxy is on. I don't know if you've got any questions or anything you want to say. Join in on the live. Maybe about an experience that you guys have had that you can think of. Yeah. Well, I think that kind of covers my everyone is right, there is no wrong. Thank you for the heart, Nels. Yeah, I hope you have a great day. I feel like I need a defrag after this live and de-stress. Yeah, just obviously reliving that story and that imagery. Maybe I haven't dealt with that properly to really go on a healing, bit of a healing, thank you, great perspective, thank you, on a journey to heal my wounds, so I am not feeling so emotional about it. I'm not having that inner turmoil. Because essentially what happens when we're in conflict, there's a lot of energy exchange, there's a lot of energy grabbing when someone feels low or someone is not getting what they want. And this is what we were discussing yesterday, is they're actually having a go at you. What they're doing is they're putting you in a low emotional vibration. They're putting you in a low emotion, and that actually depletes you. It makes you feel bad. And, you know, in this scenario, in those scenarios, in those stories, it's almost like, you know, I was shaking afterwards, after the events, like my energy, it felt like I'd been zapped and drained, and my emotions were in high stress and trauma. So yes, have a lovely day. I hope this actually helps in some way, because what it will actually do is create inner peace with us all. If everyone could see everyone for the uniqueness they are, and all their lives' experiences that they've travelled are who they are today, or make up who they are today, and not sit there and judge them or get angry at them or upset with them, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's their experience and their understanding of life. And yeah, it helps you to become more of a compassionate person, and just to really bring your energy back to yourself, or your emotion back to yourself, and become the observer in the game of life. So if you have just jumped on, watch the replay. This is kind of, you might have to watch yesterday's live as well, because that's sort of the introduction into energy and what energy is, and how we have the different flux of energy based on the world around us. And our high notes are, you know, high vibrations that are peace and love and joy and all the rest. And the negative energy, or the negative emotion, is actually a depleting emotion, and it drains us and makes us feel bad. So yeah, have a look, maybe look at yesterday, and rewatch if you've just jumped on now. Have a watch from the beginning, and watch my little episode with my son. He was literally being so naughty on his birthday. Feels like he can get away with it, but anyway, have a lovely day. Like and share if you feel this is beneficial for you, you know, yourself or your friends. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. same time. We're going to talk about, what was the topic for tomorrow? We're going to talk about judgment and how that works in with our feeling state. So hope to see you soon. Take care and have an amazing day. Awesome, Tam. Just what I needed to hear. Oh, watching with Indy. Hi, Indy. How you going, little chickadee? Mwah, kisses. All right, now let's have a great day. Have an amazing day, everyone, and I hope to see you tomorrow here at 1 o'clock. Bye.